Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome to a new video. JPEGMAFIA, All My Heroes Are Cornballs, album review. Before we get into the album review, actually, let's just admire the album art for a moment. Just look how pretty that looks. It's pretty. Alright, enough gawking over the album cover. Let's talk about the album itself. JPEGMAFIA, Barrington, Hendricks, is an experimental hip-hop producer, singer, songwriter, rapper. He's a quadruple threat. Cornballs is his third studio album, and up until this point, I've always been appreciative of his work, but I've never really enjoyed it as much as other people have. He released Black Ben Carson back in 2016, but he didn't actually make a huge splash until his sophomore album, Veteran, which put an emphasis on Peggy's experimental side of music. But what we get on All My Heroes Are Cornballs is a side of Peggy that I wanted to see, at least for me. I kind of was left, again, appreciating what he'd done on Veteran, Black Ben Carson. I wanted all of the components in Peggy's work to work together harmoniously. And on this album, I can finally say that he's done that. And he's also toned down his experimental side. Surely he's still experimental on this album, but it's not as angular as Veteran was. And I find the smooth production on this album to be its highlight. The big reigning achievement of this album is the production, which is mainly handled by Peggy himself. A lot of the tracks have a slick, smooth, silky vibe to them, and a lot of them kind of have what I would call like a vaporwave taste with them. Peggy's fusion of hip-hop, pop, rock, and rap, and more genres that can't be defined, not only make him a very versatile artist, but also make him a very interesting artist. Because he showcases not only his ability to fuse genres in a genius way, but he also showcases that he's an artist with a multifaceted background. When you hear him cover songs like TLC's No Scrubs, which is a song off of this album, and Carly Rae Jepsen's Call Me Maybe, which isn't a part of this album, and it was a single a while ago, but still, you hear those, and you're just kind of questioning, how does he do it? This can make Peggy an artist that's harder to pigeonhole, but it's also making him an artist that's easily approachable, easily accessible, because his albums are so multifaceted, they're so interesting, they're so unique and diverse, and it's just punctuated by his unique idiosyncratic style as a rapper and a singer and a songwriter. You get the intro track, which is Jesus Forgive Me I Am Thought, one of the lead singles of this album. You get Peggy rapping on the song. You also get him singing on the chorus, which is helped by auto-tune. And not only does auto-tune affect the way his vocals work, I know, crazy, but it actually adds a lot of depth to the song and just the singing portion of this song. It just adds more flavor to this track. Beta male strategies is another example of where auto-tune helps a track rather than hinder it from its full potential. Artists can overuse auto-tune to death, but when people like JPEGMAFIA use it to benefit a song because it doesn't make their voice sound better, it makes their voice sound different, then I still have faith in autotune just being used as somewhat of an instrument, not just somewhat of a helper. Moving away from my mini rant on autotune, the production is something that I will compliment from front to back. And the only thing that makes this album worthwhile and why I love the production so much is the fact that a good amount of songs bleed into one another in the right way. Ooh, you get the track JPEGMAFIA Type Beat, which then bleeds into the next track, Grimy Waifu. It's kind of like JPEG is taking what the track before it, JPEGMAFIA Type Beat, and using that beat on Grimy Waifu. It's It's super meta. I also appreciate how organic this album sounds, even though it's widely synthetic. I find the vocal tracks and the audio recordings that are spread across a good amount of tracks on here to make this album feel organic, feel natural. There are numerous tracks with like vocal snippets from like the recording studio just kind of laced into the production of each track. Oh man, it just makes the album 10 times better. And the songwriting on this album, man, I feel as if all of it's just connected in the best way possible. And while I find myself completely enamored with the production and the songwriting, I will say there are points where I want more from Peggy. Sometimes I wish a chorus was repeated a little more. Sometimes I wish the production was dragged out just a little bit longer. And I wish sometimes songs were more girthier and more hefty. But really, other than that, I can't find a major flaw with this album. It's really well done. It's highly approachable. It's extremely entertaining. And I freaking love it. From the No Scrubs cover to the line about turning Steve Bannon into Steve Hawking, there are so many quotables on this album that the songwriting is at a maximum, really. And they get interlaced with just thoughts in your head because you'll just be bored and then you think about that one line off of that one song off of this album. It's just a gold mine of lyricism. Some really great lyricism on probably JPEGMAFIA's best album to date. I find the softer, more soothing side of JPEGMAFIA to be very intriguing, and I would like to call this album, or at least the production side of this album, a Diet Dr. Death Grips. The reason why is because I do see Death Grips influence. Not heavily, it definitely still has that this is JPEGMAFIA feel. It's definitely not, oh, I'm listening to some Death Grips ripoff. This is definitely an appeal to JPEGMAFIA. However, I love that about it. I'm not the hugest fan of Death Grips. Don't like their style of music. But that's for another time when they release an album, and I'll talk about it then. But for now, I'm enjoying this record. I'm loving it. I'm loving a lot of the songs on here, and I appreciate what this album has to offer. A-. It's damn good. It's damn impressive, and I am surely not disappointed, JPEG. Not disappointed. Outro. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this album down below. Let me know what albums you want me to review next, and that's it. Leave a like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Let me know how I can improve future videos. And remember, this is only my opinion, because music is subjective.